Welcome into the Sports Buffoons podcast. Let's get it rolling once again, guys. All right, so we have again Mike Settle here with Tanner Dawson and Jason JG running the full Buffoon clan. What's up, guys?
What's going on?
What's up, ladies and gentlemen?
You're right. Does this feel a little spooky in here to you? We have Halloween weekend coming up, so we have a lot of things to talk about. Some things that were a little freaky that happened on in the NFL this past weekend. And it's something that wasn't freaky real quick. Obviously, we just watched the Dodgers win the World Series. That was kind of to be expected, I believe. So, hey, good for them. Props to them. We're kind of
glad. Another LA team, man. Another LA team winning the series.
So they got two of them now. Two of them for LA.
Dodgers.
Yeah, good for them. Good for that city, I guess, as long as they don't burn everything down. So, and within their celebrations, that is. So, anyways, you guys, obviously we have a lot to talk about today in regards to some things that have gone on with the Chiefs. And so first and foremost, to kick it off real quick, what are you guys drinking over there to kick off our show? Jason, I see you with something. Tanner, you got something over there in your lap. What are you guys sipping on?
Yeah, we're going to roll with the Tank 7 right about now.
Yeah,
Tank 7.
I got a little Blackheart rum going on.
Blackheart rum, Tank 7, kind of some basics, I guess, today. I just brought over a Sun King Brewery GFJ India Pale Ale, so guess I'll crack that open and see how this goes throughout the show. So first and foremost, you guys, something that was not scary at all was the Denver Broncos. So the Denver Broncos obviously came into this game. You know, they had maybe some of their fans thought they had a chance or whatever to maybe surprise us in some kind of way, but the Chiefs ended up scoring on all three phases of the field: offense, defense, special teams, with that return from Byron Pringle, which is well known from K-State. To be great as a return specialist. They are very well known for being the best special teams unit in all of college football, so it's natural for him to come in and produce that way. So what is it about this game, anything about the Broncos game, as we all assumed we would win, Chiefs would win? Anything about the game that stood out to you guys?
Yeah, I just love the fact that they scored points in all four phases of the game, actually: passing, rushing, defense, and special teams. And so it was a pretty easy game for them. I just do want to point out that Harrison Butker, he's only missed one field goal the entire season, he's only at 79% on his extra points, and he's missed 5 extra points so far. He's 93% for his career. So, I mean, it's just a minor concern for me, but I do want to know what you guys think about maybe the Chiefs doing what the Steelers used to do back when they had Antonio Brown and Le'Veon Bell firing on all cylinders. They used to go for 2 every single time. And this is something that I've been thinking about ever since week 1. I'm like, we have this dominant offense in the NFL. Why aren't we going for 2 points every single time? Because I think that's something that it's not that I don't trust Harrison Butker, because I think he is going to get better on his extra points, but we should just be going for 2 every time. What do you guys think about that?
Why aren't we going for 2? That's what I want to know. With all the weapons we have, why are we letting Butker even kick it?
Yeah, that's actually a really good point, and I haven't really thought too much about that idea, but it's very true. I mean, I think the only thing that's holding us back probably is just kind of the way Andy Reid's always kind of ran his team and his just old style approach to that. It's probably not something traditionally that he's done in the past, so I guess it's kind of hard to like maybe talk someone like that into going for 2, whereas we see a lot of younger coaches now as ones going for 2 more often, but has been missing extra points, which personally doesn't bother me as much as other people. So, but I think that's actually a great option, because we are a very, very good team in the red zone inside the 5-yard line, and starting from the 2-yard line with Le'Veon Bell now on the team. I think that getting some of those inside carries, possibly spreading them out, going inside, or the quick hitters to Tyreek or Kelsey. That's actually a great option, Jason. What made you think of that, actually?
Just the fact that now that we have Le'Veon Bell on the team, and, we don't have to worry about Antonio Brown like the Steelers did back in the day.
Right.
But it's just, like I said, Harrison Butker, if they keep doing the extra point, he is going to revert back to the mean, and he'll go back to his 93% for career. But you never know when that's going to come back to hurt you. But I've been thinking about this from the beginning of the season, and I just thought that they should be doing that because this has been done in the NFL before, and the Chiefs' offense to me is probably better than the Steelers' offense was back then. And I think you're just playing the percentages here. I think you have to go for 2 every single time. Now, maybe you don't want to do that in the playoffs in a very close game, but during the regular season, who cares? Just go for it.
I mean, like you guys said, it's actually not part of Andy Reid's offense is wanting to do that. That's the only issue we get run into. It's not an Andy Reid thing to go for 2 and be aggressive.
Yeah, exactly. It's almost like assuming Andy Reid should keep the pedal to the metal at the end of a game and keep scoring points rather than backing off and playing it safe when we have a big lead. So it's just not in his DNA to want to continue to do stuff like that or to break the mold of what he's always been doing as a coach. So this is not going to be him. But I think that it's something that maybe the Chiefs should actually consider. So it is a very good point. I know for this Jets game or this Jets game or the Broncos game, that we just saw. I did see a lot of good things, obviously. The running game was great between seeing that duo of Clyde Edwards-Helaire. And Clyde Edwards-Helaire, man, I don't know if you guys know this, but he actually leads the AFC in all-purpose yards. So,
correct. And then he's second in scrimmage.
In the AFC, he's first. But in all the NFL, he's only behind Alvin Kamara. And that's it. Alvin Kamara's the only one ahead of him.
And Alvin Kamara is the only thing on that team and for the Saints.
Having the duo now of Le'Veon Bell with Clyde Edwards-Helaire is just incredible. I mean, we saw them running too easily. I mean, they barely got touches. I mean, Clyde had, I believe, 8. Le'Veon had 6. So they didn't get a lot of carries, but the guys were effective.
But we've also seen it really surge from our new offensive line, essentially, with Mitchell Schwartz out. We had a couple injuries, right? That offensive line has really surged the last few games of letting the run game open up, even without Osamele.
Yeah, having Dan Kilgore at center now has changed a lot in the running game. The guy's a mauler, and you know why? You know where he came from, right, Tanner? San Francisco 49ers, who are well known as a great rushing team.
That's right.
So he's got that mauler instinct to where he just wants to run guys over and run the ball. So Kilgore's done a great job. Honestly, he's better than what we had at center before with Austin Ryder. So I've never personally been a big fan of Austin, but I think he's better at pass blocking than he is run blocking. But Kilgore adds a different dimension right now to our offensive line. As long as we can keep all these guys healthy, because we've had a lot of injuries this year to the offensive line. So I do like at least the current direction we have, at least in the running game, which is kind of weird to say because we're not used to having an offensive line that's decent in the run game like we do currently at the moment.
No, it's been a while since we've had a run game or being able to have a run game. And for Patrick Mahomes to have a run game as well, that just opens up new avenues for the guy that we haven't seen yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, I mean, for me, the Chiefs versus the Jets, I don't have any concerns, guys, except you just don't want players getting injured in a game that's basically meaningless. So my question is, do we want to treat this like a preseason game and try to get our marquee players out of that game by the end of the third quarter? You know, obviously you want Le'Veon Bell to eat in this game because he's going to have his revenge game no matter what. But do you think we should just pull the starters after the third quarter and treat it like a preseason game?
That's so fair point, right? So on Twitter, I had to answer this as well. Please remember that the Jets are still an NFL team. Everybody has a lucky day. Let's not fall in the freaking trap game that could be a New York Jets. Will it happen? I highly doubt it. But you never know. You never know when somebody plays awful on our side and somebody plays great on their side. It's still NFL players against NFL teams. Now, if we are up big, yeah, let's play Henny in the fourth quarter. Like, bench our key guys. We don't need getting hurt. Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce, Chris Jones, like, let them rest.
Yeah, I don't want to see any injuries in this game. And then my only other concern really is just the betting aspect. And as you guys know, I'm around 60% on my picks this year against the spread. And I want to know your thoughts on this game specifically because we just rolled the Broncos 43-16. And so the spread versus the Jets is 19.5. I do believe the Chiefs are actually going to cover this. And part of that is the fact that it is going to be a Le'Veon Bell revenge game. But how do you guys not think, or maybe you do agree with me, do you think they're going to cover that 19.5 points?
No, I'm not a fan of taking a bet on that just because, like I said, a couple minutes ago by Andy Reid, I think that yeah, we could easily be up by 24 in this game at some point. But I could also see us at that point, at what you were saying, Jason, about potentially bringing in the backups in the late third quarter or fourth quarter, and at that point going through the motions, running off the time, the clock, and then the Jets get basically a garbage time last-minute touchdown to eventually get back and cover their own end of that spread, basically. So it's the NFL, and we were talking a little bit ago, actually, and here in the last few years, there's only been about, I think, 6 games that have had a spread of 20 or more, and this is at 19.5, so right on that verge. And only one time in the last few years has a team actually covered that spread. It's a 20 or more. So we're going back to the 2013 Broncos and stuff like that, whenever they play against terrible teams then, and only one time it's ever been covered. So 1 in 5 against the spread here in the last, I believe, 20 years. So it's one of those deals where I just don't think it's likely for it to happen, and with Andy Reid being the way he is as a coach, I don't see it happening.
Yeah, I understand your argument there, but the other side of the ball, I look at the way Adam Gase likes to coach, and he's just absolutely a terrible coach, and that's why I actually give the Chiefs to cover that spread, because, I mean, they're probably just going to fold, and I think they could easily cover that 19.5 points.
They could.
Because Adam Gase is a terrible coach, and that's pretty much it.
I mean, they could do it. Like,
They really
if you
could.
played the full 4 quarters, 100% go, then yeah, you will easily cover that.
Now, this could be a similar game that we played last week with the Broncos. This could be a defensive scoring game as well.
Yeah.
Right? So we didn't convert any third downs. Mahomes had 1 TD, right? And then the Chad Henne talk starts happening. Like, we have to start Chad Henne because he scored off his first bat, right?
Yeah.
You guys want to start Henne over Mahomes?
No, it's okay.
Oh, we're not. Okay, we're not.
Not doing that.
All right. Anyways, so when we talk, when we look at this here, it could be a similar situation where the defense is making those key plays again, where they're getting those picks, getting the fumble recoveries, and they're scoring off of those, keeping Mahomes back on the 1 TD train, maybe 150, 200 yards, and the run game maybe takes away. I think it'll be a lot of ticking the clock with the run game, wasting time, because they don't want it. Nobody wants to get hurt during this, so why try to play a full game anyways?
Yeah, and I agree with that as well, but I want to throw out my basic premise again when it comes to betting, and that is that good teams win and great teams cover. And so, the Chiefs are going to cover the spread. I mean, I don't care how you look at it. I know 19.5 is a lot in the NFL, and by the way, I'm not recommending that you guys bet on this game. This is not my easy bet of the week, but that's just my pick. I do think the Chiefs will cover.
All right. Well, now that we kind of covered that a little bit as far as the Chiefs recap and a little bit of a preview for the Jets game, I want to get into something a little more interesting, actually, I think, because as we know, Chiefs-Jets might not be the most interesting game of our season. We have more coming up down the road, like when we see the Buccaneers here in about 3 or 4 weeks here. So that'll be a great one down the road. So there's a little game I want to play with you guys. We're almost to the midway point of the season. We just finished up Week 7. We're now going into Week 8 of the NFL season. So with that said, I mean, we're almost at the midpoint. So with the teams the way they're currently laid out in the NFL, and keep this in mind, we're going to have 7 playoff teams per conference this year, not 6. So we're going to have an extra playoff team listed. I want to play a game with you guys real quick. So the game is, this is NFL playoffs in or out. And I want to start off with the AFC, if that's cool with you guys. So we're not going to talk about the teams at the very top that we already are going to assume are in for sure. I'm not going to talk about the Steelers with you guys, and I'm not going to talk about the Ravens, and I'm really not going to talk about the Chiefs, and I'm not going to talk about the bottom feeders either. So the bottom feeders that are playing terrible, we're not going to worry about them.
I was going to pick the Jets.
Jets are going to come back with 1% odds of
they're going to get past
playoffs.
the trade deadline, get rid of Quinn Williams, and then be a great team.
So they're going to go 1-7. Then they're going to beat the Chiefs this weekend. Is what you're saying?
That's about
Tanner.
a 10,000 to 1 bet. You should bet on that right now, Tanner.
Cover.
You make a lot of money on
Pick the
that.
Jets to win the Super Bowl, Tanner. I can't imagine how much money you'd make if you
I'd retire.
put down
What are you
$10.
talking
You might win $10 million. I don't know. So, first team out the gate though are the Cleveland Browns in or out at 5-2.
Yeah, I've got the Cleveland Browns out. I mean, they just lost OBJ. I do not trust Baker Mayfield by any stretch of the imagination. I have them out.
Browns are out. I think they'll have to make a midseason run on trying to be in, but they will not. They just won't make it. It's just not going to happen. They're the Browns. They have Baker Mayfield. OBJ's out for the year. Like, It's not going to happen.
They are the Browns. I think they're going to rely on the running game more as the year goes on. But I do have the Browns as in right now, and that's because they're sitting at 5-2, like I said, and because the rest of the AFC is also not very good. So with the addition of having that 7th team, I think that their odds of being in the playoffs is actually pretty solid. With that record, they only got to win, honestly, probably another 3 to 4 games more to be in the playoffs. So keep that in mind. 3 or 4 more games, that's it. We got the Ravens winning the division, obviously.
Yeah.
And I like the Browns at that point. So after that, I got another one for you guys, another good one. The Indianapolis Colts at 4-2 currently.
Absolutely. I've got the Colts in there. I hope we're going to talk about the Raiders later because I actually have the Raiders finishing ahead of them in the 7-team format. But absolutely the Colts, I mean, I think they're a lock because I just don't like any of the other teams that are on the outside looking in.
Yes, Colts, I believe, will be in the end of the year. Phillip Rivers will get his stuff together and figure it out. But I do like the way the defense plays for that Colts team, and their run game is starting to come along too. So I like the Colts.
Yeah, same for me. Colts are in for me for sure. I do have the Titans still winning that division, so that's why they're not on my list of teams to talk about. They're for sure in for me. So Colts, though, I think we all three agree that they're going to be in, at least as a wild card here, because the rest of that division is terrible with the Texans and Jaguars. So, that's going to be rollover games, and I think Rivers gets better as the year goes on with that team getting more acclimated with his current personnel, and as well as, just having a decent running game with that team and defense. So after that, we have a little switch over. We saw Tua take over for the Miami Dolphins. So with that transition going into place and removal of Ryan Fitzpatrick at quarterback, are the Dolphins in or out?
No, they're not going to make it. And, it's not that I don't like Tua, but, he's a rookie quarterback, and so he's going to be in a learning process here. And like I said, I trust the Raiders more than I would trust Miami at this point.
Dolphins. If you would have kept Ryan Fitzpatrick, you might have been in. You might have had that chance to get in. Now you're stuck with a rookie, and you're not. It's not going to happen with Tua. I'm sorry, this is not the year to do it. So all that momentum Ryan took, it's gone. They're going to be out.
Yep, same for me. Dolphins are out for me, not in the playoffs. They're sitting at 3-3, and I think Tua is going to have a tough learning curve here in his first few weeks as a starter in the NFL, just due to, honestly, a lack of talent around him and just being a rookie in the NFL. So I think this is
it's the first game against the Rams, right?
Yeah, exactly. So it's one of those things where it's not going to be easy transition right away. So anyways, going on, Jason, the team you've been wanting me to talk about all of a sudden real quick, the Las Vegas Raiders sitting at 3-3. Are they in or out?
I've got them in, and I just trust the way that John Gruden is calling the offense right now, and I actually trust Derek Carr this year. I mean, he's got more experience in that offense, and especially now that we got the 7-team format, I mean, the Raiders are in for me.
Raiders. Sorry, Las Vegas, it's not your year. You're going to be sitting on the outside looking in.
Well, Vegas might have something to say about that. They might be able to pull a few strings.
I'm sure they might, actually. Take some money. But, no, the Raiders are going to be looking out. Yes, they're looking okay this year, but they are not beating teams such as the Patriots. They didn't really compete very well against the Bucs. Like, you got to show something against the good teams. You can't just play the bad teams outside of KC and, win against those. You have to beat some good teams. It's not going to happen.
You're saying that the Chiefs win is irrelevant then?
The Chiefs friends, it's lucky is what it was.
Okay.
It's not even a worry for me.
Raiders are in for me. I think they definitely get at least that 7th playoff spot. If the Browns somehow fold a little bit, I think the Browns are still in, as I said, but the Raiders are my last team of the AFC to be in currently, just because I like the way they're structured. I think they could finish around at 9-7 and be in for sure. So after that, we have one more for the AFC for you guys, because the NFC is a whole cluster F. The Patriots are 2-4. Are the Patriots in or out?
They're not even on my list, guys, and I know it's very difficult to think about the fact that Bill Belichick might be in a rebuilding year, but I know that a statement doesn't even make sense because we've seen him have success for such a long period of time, but you got to come to the conclusion at this point that they are in a rebuilding year, and they are not going to make the playoffs this year.
Guys. It's Bill Belichick, for God's sake, here we're talking about. The Patriots are in, thanks to this division alone. They pretty much automatically will get another win against Miami, the Jets. They'll probably win another one with the Bills, so they'll take care of that part, and then they'll beat some more good teams as well. Cam Newton will get out of his funk, whatever the heck's happening there. He knows he's in a bad, his situation's bad right now, so he'll come out, start performing well. I like the Patriots being in.
So just to be clear, Patriots in, Vegas out.
Correct.
Is that what you're saying? Okay.
That's correct.
Okay, yeah, I'm Patriots out for sure at this point. I'm a non-believer in what they got going on, and I don't even agree necessarily with what you said, Jason, about being a rebuilding year, because rebuilding means you have hope for the future, and I don't see anything going on with that team currently that tells me the future is going to be positive for the Patriots. So I think there's just not a good team. I think at this point there's not a good team, and then maybe they have to draft a new quarterback, get better players, offense and defense, young players, draft well, draft better. I think Belichick's going to end up moving on quickly because he's not going to want to sit there and take time to worry about all that.
So, real quick, too, before we move to the NFC, I got a surprise team for you that you need to watch out for that could be in at the end of the year that you did not
Great,
talk
here
about.
it comes.
The LA Chargers and Herbert. They're losing games, but they're losing it so close. They just got to learn to finish. Once they learn to finish these games, they could be right in the mix come towards the end of the year. It could be a lot closer game.
Well, going back to your point with the Patriots, it's not that I hate the Patriots. I just like the Raiders that much more because, you don't give a guy like John Gruden a 10-year contract worth $100 billion or whatever the case may be. And that guy is a great mind. I know a lot of people don't like him and they think he's overrated. But I do believe that he is going to come through this year and they are going to make the playoffs.
Yeah, I wanted to skip over the Chargers, Tanner, because I just feel like the Raiders are a better team than them, and that's the team that would take the Chargers spot, I should say.
I'm just saying, watch out for the Chargers. They get on
so that's
kind of streak.
Mark it down. That is Tanner's surprise playoff team.
Could happen, guys.
Going from 2-4.
Don't put your money down on it, though.
No.
Please.
All
Don't
right.
put your money on it.
Now, transitioning over to the NFC side of things for this game of in or out, we got a whole list of things here to talk about, but let's kind of try to be quick because a lot of these teams are nonsense. Let me kick it off real quick with a good example of the Philadelphia Eagles, the current leader of the NFC East. They are 2-4-1 is their current record. So, what a great record. I mean, the leader of the NFC East. Are the Eagles? Are they in or out, guys? Or who's going to win that? Just tell me who's going to win the division. We're going to skip over the rest of the teams.
Please let me go first.
Go for it.
Philadelphia Eagles are going to be in the playoffs because they play against junior high school teams.
Well, so you're saying it's junior high school versus high school.
Basically,
And
well,
the Eagles are the high school team.
I think it's junior high school versus college, Division I college.
Okay, that's fine.
So obviously only one team's coming out of that division. Eagles will be it, but I would say the Redskins might have something to say, or the football team, I did it again, might have something to say about it, guys.
All right, so we're going Eagles in. All right, after that, a team, yes, we all agree Eagles in. All right, after that, we have the Bears sitting at 5-2 after losing to the Rams this past Monday night. For me, I actually have the Bears out. What do you guys think?
I do have the Bears in, but it's only because it's a 7-team format. I do trust Foles in the playoffs. Now, if we were only rolling with 6 teams this year, I would not pick them, but I do believe they are going to have the 7 seed.
I think the Bears are out. I haven't had much faith in them this
Non-believer.
year. I just think they're out.
Yeah, we're both non-believers on that, Tanner. And even from day one, let me just say something real quick. We were kind of trashing the Bears a couple of months ago when we first started this podcast and kind of made a joke of them. They ended up winning 5 games.
Yeah, but they did this a few years ago, too,
Yeah.
where they won early and
They overachieved. We all believe they've overachieved.
Yeah.
The 5-2 was a fluke for sure in our eyes. So after that, let's get to some more legitimate teams now that actually have potential to do something and make some noise. Arizona Cardinals sitting at 5-2, and let's also cover the Rams real quick, considering they're in the same division at 5-2 as well. So right now tied, but the Cardinals are currently in the lead of that division due to a tiebreaker. So who do you guys have for the NFC East taking that, and do both teams make the playoffs?
Well, for me, Arizona is in, and you can take it to the bank. Arizona, when you take away Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, Kyler Murray is the future of the NFL. So Arizona is absolutely in, no problem.
Yeah, guys. Actually, I'm going to go Arizona and the Rams are both in with the Seahawks as well.
Yeah.
So those are my picks. Look what they did. Look what Arizona did versus the Seahawks on primetime football. And then the Rams. Did you see the Rams defense play last night? Or Monday night? They looked actually like a Super Bowl team.
Bears offense isn't anything to really ride home about, so that's part of the problem with that. But they were flying. Their defensive line is great too.
No, I'm going AZ and the Rams. They're both going to be in. Those are my two picks for sure.
Yeah, same for me. I like both of those teams to be in. So for the NFC West, I have the Seahawks winning the division. Mm-hmm. Then I have the Cardinals and Rams both being involved as well. So I think that's good. Actually, that's a great division, you guys. Not to mention, we have to talk about one more real quick involved. The 49ers are 4-3. Are the 49ers in or out?
They're out because you can't have all 4 teams play.
No, that's not going to happen.
but they're going to be still in the contention with it. Yeah. Almost all the way till the end of the season. So they're going to be in the mix. It's the best conference in football.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if you're going to go over the Rams, but I also had the Rams as in.
Yep.
And that's only because of just all of the injuries that the 49ers have had to deal with. Deebo Samuel is injured again. You got Tevin Coleman coming back, but the 49ers just aren't going to make it.
Now, caution warning, LA fans. No, you're not going to win the Super Bowl. It's not going to happen. You're not going to win the NFL, the NBA, and the MLB. So, yes, you're in the playoffs, but you're not going to get there.
Rooting their hopes and dreams, Tanner.
Sorry. Bursting the bubble.
Yeah, I got the 49ers out, but yeah, like I said with the Rams, Jason, I'm with you. So we got 3 teams from the NFC West.
Let me just say one thing real quick about the Rams, okay? Now, it obviously helps that we have a 7-team format.
Yep.
But the other reason that I picked the Rams this year is that I know you guys you probably heard about something called a never Trumper. Well, I used to be a never Goffer. I hated Jared Goff because he was on my fantasy team last year, and he was absolute trash. And so, but the fact that we have 7 teams now in the playoffs, that's the reason why I put the Rams in the mix at this point. So I actually believe in Jared Goff and obviously the play calling of Sean McVay, and they're going to make it.
All right. Now that we got that out of the way, I guess, let's go ahead and skip on over real quick to a little bit of NFC South talk. And I like to bring this up in groups, unlike the AFC, because the actual NFC is actually full of good teams. So in this case, I want to bring up the Saints real quick, sitting at 4-2. I actually have the Saints as in the playoffs in this situation, with the Buccaneers winning the division. So how do you guys feel about the Saints?
Yeah, so that's where you and I differ a little bit. That's the reason why I put the Bears in and the Saints out. And the only reason I need is the fact that Drew Brees is washed. I know that sounds bad, and I know that Brady is playing amazing right now, and, we got older quarterbacks in the league, but I do believe that Brees is officially washed, and you may think he looks okay right now, but wait until you get down the home stretch. Those guys are not going to make the playoffs.
Look, all right, Saints are going to be in, and they're missing out on a couple of big players right now, right? Emmanuel Sanders was out on COVID list. Michael Thomas, who might be out another week, who knows, but he'll be coming in the right time when they need him the most, is when he'll start playing again. Like Drew Brees, that Saints defense will figure something out, and they're gonna be in. They're gonna be in.
All right. Yep, I agree with that on the Saints end of that one. So after that, I got a couple more here for you guys for the in and out game. I have the Detroit Lions at 3-3. Are the Detroit Lions in or out?
No, I think they're still another season away. I like what Matt Patricia is doing with that defense, but I just don't trust Matt Stafford at this point in his career.
I think that Everson Griffin trade they did with the Cowboys has really boosted that will boost their defense, and that gives them a little bit more, I don't want to say competitiveness to be in the mix, but they're going to be out. I don't think they're going to make it this year. I just think there's just a little bit more to do, a little bit more work to be done before they can get to that playoffs contention again.
Yeah, despite winning 2 in a row now, they're out for me as well. I just think there's too many other better teams in the NFC that are going to have taken over that spot. So, in my mind, they are just not good enough to be in the playoffs this year, but they're close, just on the outside looking in. So, after that, I got one more for you guys to cover with me, the Carolina Panthers at 3-4 in that division. Once again, of the NFC South. Is there a chance for them to be in, or is this just kind of not going to be their year?
I just don't see a chance. I mean, you've got Christian McCaffrey coming back, but he's probably going to be on a snap count for who knows how many weeks. And the fact that he got injured, if he would have been healthy the entire season, I think I would have had a little bit different outlook on them. But I think it's going to take him a couple of weeks to get right, and I just do not have Carolina in the mix this year.
Carolina would be the one team to actually kick the Saints out of the playoff spot if they continue to perform and play really well. I don't think they can continue the rest of the time out to play that well and be in the mix. I think next year, though, watch out next year for these guys. If they all stick together and they all become a little healthy and build up more, they could be in the mix. But this year, I think they're out.
Yeah, add a little more in free agency next year if they can, especially on the defensive side of the ball. And I don't know, maybe next year they have a shot, but this year for me they're out as well. So you guys all agree Bucks are in?
Bucks are in.
Bucks are in, no problem. They're going to be in the Super Bowl against the Chiefs.
That'll be a wonderful game. I mean, that'd be it'd be crazy.
Why are you laughing, dude? Like that's going to happen.
Because it's
going to
the
happen.
Packers.
He still says Packers. I mean, we already play the Buccaneers here pretty soon, but I think that's going to be
a
pretty
nice
fun.
game, though.
That might be the game of the year. I mean, at that point in the season, with both teams riding high,
They need to
so
flex that, too.
I think they will. You can't. How would you not flex Mahomes versus Tom Brady? You might as well.
And they're both winning, first off.
Yeah, and Brady's still playing.
Come on.
Brady's still playing.
Come
at
on,
high
NFL.
levels, so my little hot take I had a couple months ago did not prevail. So that's all right. I'm okay with that. Maybe I was going on a limb a little bit. I was living in the moment because Brady had a pick that day. Oh my gosh, his
He had
career's
1
over.
week, right? The first
Yeah,
week.
exactly.
Well, dude, I called it at the very beginning of the season. I said Chiefs and Bucks from the very get-go.
Well, I
So
think
I
that's
still
the way.
maintain that
That's the way
opinion.
Vegas wants it. Vegas wants Chiefs and Bucks. I think so. I think the
Vegas
bettors out
wants
there
what
actually
Vegas
want
gets.
that, Jason. You being a betting man and all that good stuff. So that game right there will be a little scary. So I don't know what you guys feel about, with Halloween coming up this weekend. I don't know if you guys are going to be putting out any of the king-size candy bars for the kids, stuff like that. Obviously, everyone's situation is going to be a little bit different. I feel like there'll probably be maybe less trick-or-treaters than ever this year due to the COVID aspect of things going on in life. 2020 has sucked, let's just be honest. But just keeping the spirit of things, Halloween's one of my favorite holidays. I do enjoy it. I love the atmosphere of Halloween. Normally, I like the weather. We've had a lot of bad weather lately in Kansas City, so
It's supposed to be 60s here, dude.
I know. Well, I'll be happy. I cannot wait. But lately, it's been bad October for sure. So,
Oh, yeah.
with all that put into play, anyways, I still love Halloween. So, with that said, I kind of had a question for you guys. Something a little fun to talk about with you guys. I was thinking about this, about players all time who you kind of like feared the most, even if you weren't around them. Like, who is the scariest athlete that you've ever thought about, or someone you think about that's like, I would never want to be in front of that man? Who's someone that scares you guys?
Well, as a Chiefs fan, automatically the first thing that comes to my mind is Eric Berry because he was very scary. But more on a serious note, I got to go with the one and the only Lawrence Taylor, LT. And a lot of people actually think this guy was the best football player in the history of the NFL. And I'm not going to agree or disagree with that, but, he had 132 and a half sacks in his career. And the reason I picked him as my scariest player is because Bill Belichick was actually interviewed one time, and he was the defensive coordinator for the New York Giants while LT was playing. And Belichick said that opponents were physically shaking in fear when they had to face Lawrence Taylor on the other side of the ball. And so that's why I've got him as my scariest player, because if you got guys on the other side who are physically shaking, that means they're in fear and that guy is pretty scary.
Oh, yeah. That's one
I
big
agree.
guy, too. So, yeah, it's scary. So, for me, I just did a little baseball here on this. There's nobody scarier to face than Nolan Ryan. First off, the pitcher for the Rangers. Here's one picture here I got posted here. This is when Robin Ventura for the White Sox was 26 years old, and Nolan Ryan was 46 years old. Ventura charged at Ryan, and Ryan put the guy in a headlock and punched him repeatedly, in his head, and then came out and still pitched away. That was a crazy clip to watch. The other one time was for Nolan Ryan. It's when he pitched with blood on the mound, like bleeding from his mouth, and it had blood on his jersey. He just took a line drive from Bo Jackson, nonetheless, straight at him, and he stayed in and he finished the game. Pitching.
Yeah. Now, how would that have worked out during a COVID year? Do you think they would have let him just bleed all over the baseball, or do you think they would have kicked him out of the game?
Probably 5 years after he left the game finally, that would have never happened ever again, no matter what, because we're just not that tough anymore here. So, but that was, I mean, he intimidates people. He wasn't afraid of people. He was 46 years old, guys, taking on a 26-year-old, probably, beefier guy too at the time. So, Nolan Ryan's my guy. He's not a guy I would want to face ever at the plate.
Yeah, he could be the GOAT pitcher for all we know. I know nobody ever discusses the GOAT pitcher, but he could be the GOAT.
He's right up there.
Yeah, that's a good pick. I'm surprised you guys didn't say Mike Tyson or something like that, just because I wouldn't want to face that guy either. So
No, I don't want to. No,
that would be like on the top of my list. I don't want to mess with him.
I actually did face him one time, and I walked away.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a true story.
Right,
True story.
Yeah, you knew not to face him in that point. It's like, no, I'm not gonna mess with Mike Tyson. Let's not do that. I don't know. For me, I mean, I'm gonna stick with a little bit of NFL here. The 1990s Pittsburgh Steelers had some scary players on that team, especially defensively. There was a guy on that team. Actually, his name was Greg Lloyd, who back in 2001, actually, he was accused of sticking a gun in his son's mouth due to the 12-year-old's bad grades in school. And, that's just what the hell? Right. He's a psychopath. I mean, what the heck is going on? So, then later on, and you're in 2018, he was actually once again arrested for pulling a gun on his wife and threatening to shoot her. So it's just that's a little scary, right? So.
This guy was crazy.
Right, he's a psycho, right? So the guy actually is not my scariest player, scariest athlete by any means, but he actually played with my favorite scariest player, and that is LaVon Kirkland, the big middle linebacker, the monster in the middle of the Pittsburgh Steelers defense throughout the 90s. He was 6'1", 275 pounds as a middle linebacker. Can you guys imagine? Basically, you're putting Aaron Donald at middle linebacker and just having him, if you're a running back, hell no. I am not running up the middle. Give me some tosses at the outside. I'll go sweep left, sweep right, end around, reverse. I'm not going up the middle, though. Screw that. Going against LaVon Kirkland up the middle. He finished his career with over 1,000 tackles. So he was productive throughout his career, and is a guy that a lot of people, I think, have forgotten about as far as his productivity. Just a big dude in the middle. So, I don't know. He was, I would not want to be doing that.
That sounds like something we would do in, Madden, when we're just messing around, creating rosters.
Yeah.
Just have one big, massive guy at middle linebacker take on the run.
But he was good enough and fast enough, obviously, that they just plugged him in the middle and was like, here you go, you control the middle, and teams would not run up the middle of the Steelers. And that Steelers defense, as we know, competed with the Chiefs in the 90s as the top defense throughout that entire decade. So, obviously, they knew what they were doing in Pittsburgh. For sure. So, anyways,
that's great.
That is my guy, LaVon Kirkland, big number 99, monster in the middle. So, that's my favorite scary athlete. Maybe not the scariest, but I wouldn't want to mess with him. All right, you guys, let's switch over real quick to a little surprise performance discussion from this past week. Anything stood out to you guys as far as what happened in the NFL this past week with certain players? For me, I don't know. It felt like a pretty, I guess, generic week overall, but there was someone out there that really caught your eye.
Yeah, I got to go with, obviously, Tyler Lockett. 15 receptions for 200 yards and 3 touchdowns. Got you a 50 burger if he's in your fantasy league. I also had TB12 Tom Brady.
Yeah, or you play against
who had 44 fantasy points in my league. 44 fantasy points at age 43. I'm pretty sure we have not seen that before. And then I'll go with Justin Herbert, 347 yards, 3 touchdowns, and also a rushing touchdown for the rookie of the LA Chargers.
Those were some big points right there. Justin Herbert, I thought, had a really great performance. That was great highlights.
He shouldn't be a surprise anymore. Herbert's just a legitimate gamer.
He's been consistent, game in, game out.
A great quarterback.
So my surprise is actually a team, guys. So obviously the game of the week last week with the Steelers-Titans. How the hell is the Titans competing at the very end? Granted, they missed that kick. But they came back from, 24-3 or something like that. And they almost at least tied the game. Should have probably won it. But you could show the dominance of this team, just the mentality that they fight. They fight and they keep fighting. Yeah, it was a rough game for them. The Steelers played really well. I will give the Steelers credit. But damn, the Titans, they surprised me. I thought they would just lay down after being down so far. So I'm going the Titans as my surprise team of the week.
Yeah, I don't have a surprise team for you guys, but let's just say I could not believe and was so impressed by the play of DK Metcalf running down Budda Baker after the interception in the Seattle Seahawks and Arizona Cardinals game.
I don't know how many times I've watched
Not only,
that.
here's the thing. Whenever that play was made, and we don't see that often. I've seen Julio Jones do it. There was also a highlight of Larry Allen, the former guard for the Cowboys in the 90s, also running down a player.
315 pounds.
DK Metcalf, chasing after you just like a monster. I mean, he's like a lion chasing a little bunny rabbit out there with Budda Baker. But that was a big surprise because not only did it work out to where you ran him down from all the way across the field, but the Cardinals then did not score a single point when they got the ball in that drive.
They failed to score that drive.
So DK Metcalf himself saved 7 points by hustling, making a play.
He was, I think 5 yards back too?
Oh, more than that.
Yeah, it was 5 or 10 yards.
DK ran 114 yards where Budda Baker ran 90.
Yeah, so it was about
he
10, 14
traced him
yards.
down 25 yards within that run.
Insane. That's insane speed.
So
Yeah, that was an amazing football play, but I'm not going to give DK Metcalf credit for that because he's on my fantasy team and he only got me 6 points. So you guys can
point.
just
Hey, that was
shut
Russell
it right
Wilson's
now.
fault.
I don't want to
1
hear
point
that.
for the tackle, though. It's 1 point for the
1
tackle.
point for the tackle.
And
yeah.
I was
See, he
facing
got me
was
6
open.
points.
Jason. I was facing you this week. That would not have helped you anyways.
That's
if you had
true.
even
That's true.
shown
I
up
still
in
got
the first
destroyed.
place. Yeah. So either way, we'll have to get over that one. DK Metcalf did a great job.
I'll forgive him here in a couple of weeks.
Exactly. You know he's going to come back and come through. All right. Speaking of fantasy football, let's flip over real quick for some talk about your waiver wire pickups of the week. Who you should be eyeing, who you should have already picked up, and just guys who going forward throughout the rest of the season could be impactful players for your fantasy teams going through the bye weeks. For me, real quick, I just want to say my guys. I hope I don't steal one of your players, but for me, I have a couple. You got to pick up Carlos Hyde no matter what.
Yep.
Carlos Hyde, no matter what, should be picked up just due to
Carson can't keep healthy.
Right, exactly. He's always injured. Carson's always injured, and he's a fumbling problem. So Carlos Hyde's not necessarily a great player, but he's in a good situation. The other one for me, one more, Rashad Higgins, wide receiver from the Cleveland Browns, who will be replacing Odell Beckham Jr. in that offense. So he also should be picked up. Both guys are rostered under 20% in all Yahoo fantasy leagues. So that means there's an 80% chance he's still sitting there. So go get the guys. What do you guys got?
Yeah, I absolutely agree with you on Rashard Higgins. He's only 16% owned in Yahoo, just like the other two guys I'm going to mention, who are also 16% owned. And the first guy I'm going to start out is with Nelson, and I always forget his last name. Nelson What is it?
Assholer.
Okay,
That's the
yeah.
guy you're looking for.
That's his name. Okay.
Assholer.
So he had 5 receptions for 107 yards and a touchdown. He's 16% owned. The other guy that's 16% owned is the running back from Baltimore, Gus Edwards, and he is now functioning as the lead back in Baltimore. And Mark Ingram, they're kind of hiding what kind of an ankle injury that is, but it is actually a high ankle sprain.
Yeah,
and he's going to be out for a while, guys. So
That's
if
a
you need a
6-week
running
injury
back,
minimum.
just pick up Gus Edwards because, he's going to get all the goal line carries if nothing else.
Did you guys pick up Gus Edwards in our league?
I think I did.
I did
Okay.
not mess
Well,
with it. No.
no, forget that then. This is the obvious one, guys. If you haven't picked him up, at least put him on the bench. Antonio Brown officially signed with the Buccaneers. Yeah, sure, he's another target for him, but he's still going to make some impact here in a few games. So,
I mean, people have to have already picked up Antonio Brown, Tanner.
I'm just saying, if you haven't done it, you better go get him.
I would almost rather recommend people pick up Des Bryant at this point.
He's on the practice squad. He ain't going to go to the full
Des
team.
Bryant?
Yeah.
No, Antonio Brown has a lot more talent at this point than
Yeah.
Des Bryant.
I mean, Mike Evans
I agree with
had 2 targets. He had 0 points for me. Like, Antonio Brown's going to hop in this offense and just be fine.
And he loves Tom Brady, right?
And he
So-
loves
Well,
Tom Brady.
loves Antonio Brown for whatever reason.
They love each other, so just pick him up and
I'm
hope
just
that,
saying,
hope
I
that
don't
it works
disagree with
out.
you, Tanner. I just feel like that's an obvious one. Everyone should have been looking at Antonio Brown because Scotty Miller's played great. Now
Yeah.
imagine those numbers but doubled.
Yeah, exactly.
Scotty Miller's a 360 receiving yards
Antonio
and 25
Brown's
catches.
a way better athlete, of course.
So Antonio Brown could easily be
I'm
at
just saying,
50 catches and
Antonio
600.
Brown, if you haven't got him, he's still available. You better put him at least on your bench for now.
What about this? Antonio Brown could be the number one on that team by the end of the season because Chris Godwin keeps getting injured.
Yes,
true.
just had surgery on his finger. Godwin, what are you doing? Every week you go out there, you get injured. You're a great player. You're one of my favorite guys to watch play football. But every week it's something new. I mean,
Well,
you're kidding me.
Brady doesn't throw to Mike Evans. For whatever reason.
But that's what I'm saying. When you think of Mike Evans, that is not
Antonio can just come right in and fill in Godwin. as
Right.
well.
Mike Evans is not a sexy name, but Antonio Brown is a very sexy name, and Tom Brady wants to throw it to him. He's dying to throw it to him.
Oh, by far.
So that's why I'm saying he could be the number one by the end of the season.
By far. So,
Yeah.
but yeah. That's mine. I don't really have any much for
Keep
it.
himself clean. I don't want to hear a single word coming out of his mouth.
I mean, if you
know
want
what I mean?
another
Antonio
one,
Brown,
too, Josh Gordon. Josh Gordon should be on your list, maybe.
I think
He should be back
you know
in a
what,
couple
Tanner?
weeks.
We're done messing with Josh Gordon. I'm so sick of it. Josh,
Well, you can't get suspended for that now.
He'll find some other reason to get
Is he still selling used cars? I think he needs to go back to that job of
I think
selling
just for
used cars.
2 more weeks.
I'm not
2 more
recommending
weeks.
Josh Gordon, even if he is added to a team. Forget
2
that.
more weeks. Seahawks will pick him up.
Okay, the DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett, and then they're going, oh, we need a Josh Gordon again.
They want Antonio Brown.
Well, the Seahawks will actually pick him up, and
They
he
will.
will ride the bench for the rest of the season, and he won't play.
Yeah.
So
I'm just saying, put him on your
Gordon,
bench. Not
Gordon's a
gonna
little pipe dream at this point to ever be good ever again. All right, speaking of pipe dreams, we have a game coming up this week with a few teams. Let's do some pick'ems actually.
hurt. So,
So-
up-to-date pick'ems?
Yeah, we're gonna jump into some pick'ems real quick, and we have a few teams to run down.
You guys want to know the recap?
What's the recap, Tanner?
You want to know the recap?
You tell me what the recap
Okay,
is.
so obviously on the screen right now you see this here. JG and myself were tied at 59, and Mike was 62. Mike pulled ahead. He had a pretty good week. It did come down to Monday Night Football again between Mike and I for the lead this week, and Mike pulled ahead with the Rams winning because I picked the Bears with Jason. So we are really close to each other. It's not out of the woods yet, but JG and I got to step up our game here.
Yeah, don't challenge me, Tanner. You know that's what happens whenever I get challenged.
Yeah, I made you mad
You made me mad 2 weeks ago,
And
and
now
I was
look
like,
at
that's
this.
it. That's it. I'm about to ruin these guys' rest of their year. Not that 2020 isn't bad enough as it is, I guess. But all right, first and foremost, we have Thursday Night Football coming up for you guys tonight. Whoever's listening here on the Thursday morning, thank you so much. We appreciate you guys a lot. So we have the Atlanta Falcons going to the Carolina Panthers. This is going to be a really good game. Believe it or not, I actually think the Falcons are very fun to watch, and I think the Panthers are very interesting to watch, especially with the addition of having Teddy Bridgewater on that team. So for me, this is a tough call. I really think this is kind of a coin toss kind of game, but I like the Atlanta Falcons better, so I'm going Falcons.
Yeah, I got to roll with the Falcons here. You know, they didn't have Julio Jones in the first meeting, and I do believe that Christian McCaffrey is going to be a snap count on this game if he plays at all. So I'm definitely rolling with the Falcons. That's a pretty good bet, guys.
I'm going Panthers on this, guys. I just think the Panthers are a more complete team. The Falcons will get up, in the fourth quarter, and they'll do what the Falcons do. They're going to lose in the fourth to the Panthers. So I'm going Panthers.
So Tanner, you're sure that the New England Patriots are going to make the playoffs, right?
Correct.
So then you're saying to me, for Sunday morning, we're going to see the Patriots defeat the Bills in Buffalo. Yes or no?
Mike, that is going to be no this week.
Okay, so the Patriots fall to 2-5 in your mind.
Correct.
Oh, it's going to be tough, man.
I
That's
know.
going to be tough.
I'm not worried about it.
Okay.
It's Bill
Jason, what do you
Belichick.
think about this one?
Yeah, my thing about this game is that I'm going to roll with the New England Patriots because Bill Belichick losing 4 games in a row, I'll believe it when I see it. But until then, I'm not going to believe it. So I'm rolling with the Patriots.
Wow. I'm going Bills, you guys. Give me those Bills. I think they're just a better team overall, and Bills go in there and get the job done. Josh Allen is playing great, so let's continue that. So after that, we got another game. I don't know about this one. It might be one to kind of skip over, but we got the Titans going to the Cincinnati Bengals. I got the Titans all the way.
Yeah, you definitely don't want to bet on this game. I think Tennessee is going to do some more ball control in this game with their running attack, but not cover the spread. But I do have Tennessee winning the game.
It's going to be a more competitive a game than you guys actually realize with the Bengals, but Titans will win.
All right, we all went Titans there. After that, we got a good one, actually. I think this actually could be a very fun game, but we have the Las Vegas Raiders going to the Cleveland Browns. I'm going to take the Raiders. I like the way their talent is distributed better than what the Browns currently have, so give me the Raiders.
Yeah, I do have the Raiders as well. This is actually my easy money bet of the week. There's no Odell Beckham Jr. on the other side, and I do believe that John Gruden's going to have a good game plan in this one, so I am going with the Raiders.
What's the betting line on that, Jason?
-2.5 Cleveland.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, okay. So, yes, I actually like that. That's why it's your betting game of the week.
That's my easy money bet
Easy
of
money
the
of the
week.
week.
Easy
Go
money.
Raiders on that one, though. Okay.
Yeah, I'm going Raiders as well, guys. I just don't like the Browns.
Very interesting that the Browns are actually favored in that game. After that, we have the Indianapolis Colts, which, by the way, my beer I've been drinking and sipping on here from Sun King Brewery is from Indianapolis. So they are facing against the Detroit Lions. This will be actually a very interesting game. Both teams are very different. I like the way DeAndre Swift has played recently. So he's a rookie, has proven himself to be at least a productive player when called upon. So I do think the Colts win this game because I like the way the Colts are progressing and I like their defense way more than I like Detroit. So Colts for me.
Yeah, I love the Lions in this game. I think that defense is starting to come alive with Matt Patricia. So I am going to take the Lions.
It's my upset game of the week, guys. Lions over Colts. Lions, I just feel like they're just coming on when they need to right now. And the way they're playing, Matt Stafford's playing really well. Their running game's trying to figure itself out still. I just like the Lions in this one.
All right, Chiefs, Jets.
Do we pick the Jets now or later?
Mark it down, Tanner. You picked the Jets, is that
okay.
right?
Chiefs.
Okay.
That's right.
Yeah, everybody knows who's going to win this game. The question is, do you want them to cover or not? I think the Chiefs are going to cover, but, it's probably not an easy bet. So I do have the Chiefs for sure.
Chiefs.
Not an
I don't
easy
think
bet.
they'll cover, though.
Not an easy bet by any means. Yeah, Chiefs, of course. After that, we got the Los Angeles Rams going to the Miami Dolphins to face Tua Tagovailoa. So I think the Rams definitely get a victory here in Tua's first game, but I think we see flashes of potential greatness from Tua. I think Tua is actually a really good player, just not on the right team right now.
Yeah, you got the Rams right now at -3.5. I do believe they're going to cover the spread in this one, only because I just don't like that shaky offensive line of Miami.
Yep, Rams. The way they played on Monday night, I saw a whole different team, a whole different matchup from the previous week. I like the Rams to continue on with that winning streak.
Yeah, I just got an update, Jason. It's funny we talked about Nelson, but a guy from one of my leagues, from the Fit for a King League, he just added Nelson Asseler and dropped Malcolm Gallup. So he drops Gallup, added Asseler. That was his move for the week, I guess. His name is Touchdown My Pants, is his team name. So that is,
Well, he might want a guy like Nelson Assholer then.
Right.
That's his team name.
Exactly. It fits
That's a good
perfectly
pick.
for the things he's into, I suppose. So that's fine. After that, we got a good game, a very good game, as a matter of fact. Probably the game of the week. The Pittsburgh Steelers going against the Baltimore Ravens. This is a tough one, you guys. I don't know which way to go on this one, but I do think that we are the ultimate. I should say the Chiefs are the ultimate Baltimore Ravens kryptonite. We're the ones that know how to beat them. Other teams have not proven that yet. I think the Ravens beat the Steelers.
Yeah, they have not proven it yet, and Baltimore is -3. I do believe they are going to cover that spread because they are coming off of a bye, and so I think they're going to deal Pittsburgh a loss here.
Steelers, guys. Steelers are going to win this game. Big Ben is in the season. I don't know if you forgot that Big
Playing
Ben
great.
controls that division.
Alright.
So Big Ben over the Ravens this week.
All right, after that, we got a divisional matchup with the AFC West of the Los Angeles Chargers going to the Denver Broncos. Easy for me. Give me the Chargers all the way on this one.
Yeah, Chargers all the way. It's only -3, guys. You got to bet on this game. Justin Herbert's going to light up that Denver defense.
Drew Lock continues to struggle. Chargers all day.
All right, after that, we got the New Orleans Saints going to the Chicago Bears. This actually will be a very good game, I think. I think the Bears are going to give them a fight. I think they're going to control the clock as much as possible, but I think the better team wins, and the better team in my mind is the Saints, so I'm going Saints.
Yeah, the better team right now is the Saints. I think the Bears are going to struggle to run the ball against that Saints run defense, and I do believe that New Orleans will cover that 3-point spread.
No Michael Thomas, guys. No Michael Thomas. Just so you know, again. Not that it's mattered all season. No Michael Thomas. I am, where are we sitting here? At the Bears. Cold. I'm going to go Bears on this one, guys. For some reason, I like the Bears bouncing back after that loss against the Rams.
All right, Bears it is for Tanner. Interesting. All right, so after that, we got a couple more games to finish off for Sunday night. To finish up there, we have the 49ers going against the Seattle Seahawks. For me, this is a very easy one. I'm not into the 49ers. I'm not buying what they're selling. Give me the Seahawks all the way there.
Yeah, I mean, I think that the Niners they're coming along, but not when they play Seattle. Seattle's -3 in this game. They are going to cover that spread. I love the Seattle passing game, and the Niners just lost Deebo Samuel again, so we're rolling with the Seattle Seahawks.
It's my game of the week, everybody. 49ers Seahawks are always a great matchup, no matter the record. It's always a fun game to watch. So I am going to go Seahawks bouncing back on this one.
All right, and for Sunday Night Football, do you guys really want to watch this game? I don't know. I might need to find something else to do with my night. But
I definitely want to watch it.
Danucci?
Don't steal my thunder.
All right. Anyways, you guys, I'm going to let you guys have it first. Take your thunder and finish off with some lightning over there, Tanner. We have the Dallas Cowboys going against the Philadelphia Eagles. For myself, I'll just throw this out there real quick. I'm going to go with the Cowboys. What do you guys got?
Are you serious?
Wait,
first of all, I'm not serious.
Did you say they picked the Cowboys?
Yeah, I did.
All right, he doesn't care about his record, guys. But the Philadelphia is -7.5, and we got a guy by the name of Ben DiNucci that could potentially start this game. I know the points are 7.5. I think Philly is going to cover this by like 100 points. So just take the 7.5 and cover.
Cowboys are just as bad as both New York teams. So, I'm going Eagles. Easy on this. Easy pick on this.
All right, well, I was just out there trying to, support my friend Jeff Nell out there. So
sorry, Jeff.
Give him
Your
a
team's
little
trash.
Jeff does not care about Ben DiNucci. Let's be honest here.
Ben DiNucci's your quarterback.
He shouldn't care about the Cowboys anymore. I mean, he had his heyday in the 90s, but,
he cares about the Lakers. He doesn't,
Right, Lakers and Dodgers. Let's be honest. Remember that Matt Kemp jersey he always had?
Yep.
So, he's probably been wearing that all week.
If you're a Lakers and Dodgers fan, then, you don't worry about the rest of it.
Why worry about the Cowboys?
Yeah, he can struggle in one area at least. That's fine. All right, guys. Moving on to the Monday night matchup, real quick. Another game that we're only gonna watch for the sake of if you're into masochism, where you get sexual pleasure from pain and stuff like that. If you're a Giants fan, why are you watching this game? We got the Buccaneers going to the New York Giants. What do you guys got here? I got the Bucs.
Well, unlike the Philadelphia-Dallas game, I am not going to watch this game because I believe in TB12, and I think he's going to have an easy time on this cupcake. They will cover that 10.5-point spread. The Giants are way overmatched on both sides of the ball, and I am not going to watch this game. It's over.
Daniel Jones continues to get just beat up.
Shellacked.
Oh, my Lord. It's rough watching sometimes. I am going to go the Bucs, obviously, because they're just better. Plain and simple. They're just better.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, if you guys ever watched a video called the Pain Olympics back when you were younger, this is kind of like that. It's very similar. Do not Google that if you have children around. So if you do decide to Google that in your own time, just understand that we're past the 50-minute mark on our podcast, so we're rated R for late. So anyways, guys, to wrap it up.
Appropriate, huh?
Yeah, exactly. Let's just, yeah.
Well, that should have been my easy money bet of the week.
Right.
That's probably my number 2 easy money bet of the week. If you guys want to bet on
That's
that
a
Tampa
Ronald
Bay
Jones
game,
game.
It's 10.5 favorite.
that's probably a college team versus a pro team. to be all honest with
I
you.
take the Bucks to cover that 10.5 point Tanner.
I think
easily.
I would too. Yeah.
I think that
Go bet on it right
they
now.
win by at
We're
least
going to bet
14,
on it
at
right
least by
now, all
14.
three of
Bet
us.
it. Bet it.
All right, guys. Do you guys have any final thoughts with Halloween weekend coming up? Any kind of thing? I mean, you like candy corn? What's your? What
I do
gets you
love
guys
candy
off?
corn. I did have some pumpkin pie too, made, but I know it's really
pumpkin
early
pie.
for that.
Oh, that's all right.
I mean, what are you guys doing for Halloween? Let's
Well,
ask that. It's a
I-
full moon, time change, and it's a Saturday. What are you guys doing?
I hope you guys are all going to take your kids trick-or-treating, but please maintain social distancing because I don't want your COVID, and I don't think anybody else wants your COVID either. So let's just follow the rules here a little bit, but
Are you
please
going-
go out.
Are you going trick-or-treating?
Yes, my daughter and I are going trick-or-treating,
Good.
and we're going to have a good time.
Good. Mike, what do you got?
Well, me being the good boy I am, I was going to watch my
The good
grandma's
boy.
dogs, but she just texted me actually during the show saying that she was going to stay home and so I didn't have to watch the dogs. So I guess I'll be going out somewhere. I mean, I do need to get an outfit picked out again, but I don't know. I need to get a little weird and think of something. Probably end up at a bar somewhere, let's be honest.
Does the dog have COVID? That's my main question right
The
now.
dogs do not have COVID because I tested negative on my COVID test. So I know I'm not the one.
The dogs should probably be socially distancing at this point, shouldn't they?
Well, there's 3 of them. So
Since we're getting close to an election, they should probably have the dogs
exactly.
socially
There's,
distanced.
there's 3 of them, so they need to be staying away from each other a little bit. The problem is they all lay in the same bed together. So
Oh, that's not good.
About as close-
I did not want to hear that,
about
guys.
as close
I
as
did
we're
not want to
all
hear that.
sitting and standing from each other right now.
Yeah. So I'm spending pretty much all day from 11 to probably 7 visiting about 6 different places showing off my daughter in her costume, which is a Dippin' Dots costume. It's like one of those tub barrels you
I
carry,
actually like that costume too.
and it's curated, so it has like the little puff balls that look like Dippin' Dots, has the sign on it, and then the handle I push around, it has wheels on it. The handle I push around to spoon shape. So I'll be doing that, visiting multiple people.
the fun life you have now with having your first
The new life,
child,
man.
the new life of having a child for Tanner over here. So I don't know. That actually sounds kind of cool, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well,
that's exciting to travel around, show off your daughter.
Maybe I'll meet up with you later on or something. I don't know.
I don't know where I'm going to be at, but I know I'm not going to watch my grandma's dogs, so I'll be doing something
I have a
else.
clue where you might be late that night.
Let's not discuss that too much on air.
Or maybe we should discuss it a little bit more. Who knows?
After the show, we can talk about it. All right, you guys. Well, anyways, I know we're at the very end here, but give us a follow on Twitter at Sports Buffoons